Hi everyone, thank you for coming to this session. Today we're going to talk about kicking off your first DevFest. A couple of words about me. So my name is Nicola Corti. That's my Twitter handle. I'm the manager of the GDG Pisa. That is in Italy. A couple of words about our chapter. So that's us. And yeah, if you're wondering, yeah, Pisa is that city with the Leaning Tower. There is actually people living there, and we have like a grade of like a really big university and a lot of people interested in IT. So yeah, we have a great community. This year and also last year, I got the opportunity to organize basically two DevFest. So the one that we organized last year was the DevFest Pisa 0.1 that we called in this way to say like, this is our beta DevFest, to give it a try. And then this year we organized the DevFest Pisa 2019. We did it off season, so it was like 1 month ago. And we actually learned a lot out of organizing it. So I have something to share with you today. So the first thing that I want to share, I'm a big fan of brutal honesty. So you'll probably underestimate the effort behind organizing a conference. I mean, you probably know that there's a lot of things going on. Like you have to think about catering, speakers, whatsoever. But that, I mean, it's going to be really, really a lot of work. But I want to follow up on that quote at the end of the talk. We will actually go through like how to organize a DevFest between 3 major steps. The first one is the idea. So how do you actually come up with the idea of organizing a DevFest? How do you start? So the way how we started is this one. We got an email from our community manager that unfortunately is in Italian. I'm gonna use Google Translate. It somehow makes sense, and it says, yeah, you saw like you got this email, DevFest basic things to know, and I thought about you, and this year you might organize your first DevFest. So we got this email, and we said like, oh, that sounds actually interesting. We never thought about that. Like our community had some years of experience, but we never organized a DevFest. So we want to give it a try. And when organizing DevFest, one thing that we learned, I would say the hard way, is this. It's like we can summarize it with this quote: "Good artists borrow, great artists steal." So there are a lot of great DevFests out there, and there are a lot of great conferences out there. DroidCon, other than Android makers, I don't know, MobiConf. Just go to those conferences. If you've never been to a conference, organizing a DevFest might be hard. So my first suggestion when you're organizing a DevFest is try to look around you, like try to look at other conferences and take inspiration from them. Again, this year there were like hundreds of DevFests all around the globe. And the first thing that you need to think about once you decided, okay, I'm gonna do a DevFest, there are some like high-level decision that you need to make. What are those? You need to like give a shape to your DevFest. What about the theme? What do you want to talk about? Is that going to be like a DevFest that is only about Android, only about cloud? You want to talk about machine learning? You want to do something that is tech-oriented? Or you want also to talk about like diversity and inclusion, like going on not tech topics? What I suggest here is like, do something that your community love to talk about. Like if your community is really Android-oriented, try to focus on Android talks. Then your audience, who is your target? Like you want to focus on junior developers, mid, senior developers. You want to be open also to product manager, designers. And also, what about your region? So Pisa is in Tuscany, but we could have decided to go like, yeah, let's try to reach Italy, Europe, or I don't know, the globe. Then what about the price? You want to do a free event, or you want to like charge some amount, like you want to have a paid ticket? And finally, what about the language? We thought about like, should we do it in Italian or in English or multi-language? So what we ended up with, we did like a free event just because it was easier for us to like don't have so much pain with fiscal problems with having paid a paid event. We did a multi-language event, so it was both Italian and English. And our audience was between mid and junior, and we had a lot of like students, just because our community is like a community that was born inside the university, so we have like a lot of students. And then we shaped our DevFest in this way. And one thing that I also want to mention is that like when you're organizing a DevFest or any other event, but a DevFest, this is way more important. Everything is all about networking. Like you want to create an environment where networking is great. So it's up to you to create opportunities where like speakers and attendees can interact with each other. Obviously, if you have high quality content, more attendees will come, and some attendees probably will come just because they want to talk with speakers, or they want to connect with them, or they just want to connect with other attendees. So try to find high quality content. I know it's hard, but that will drive a lot of networking. Also, it's up to you to create opportunities. So make sure you have like coffee break parties or any other like space for letting your attendees interact with each other. So once you shaped your DevFest, you decided more or less what's the idea, how do you want to structure that. It's time to think about the environment. So how do you actually create the environment to like make your DevFest possible? And so here there are like now I'm gonna give you like some tips and tricks and ideas that we like came out with. So the first thing is the website. So you need to have a great website. A lot of things will come out of that. Specifically, we used Overboard. You can actually reach out to that guy over there. There is like the creator, and it's a great website. We got a lot of feedback. People told us, "Oh, yeah, your website is awesome." The only thing that I want to mention is like make sure you plan some time to like stay behind that, because it's a big website and it's like, you know, some sort of JavaScript knowledge. But yeah, spend time on that, because I really believe that the website is the first thing that you need to think about when you want to organize a great event. Then what about the logo? So when talking about the logo, I really recommend you think about that, because the logo represents your identity, and you also want to think about the graphics. Also, there is another talk afterwards about like designing your like DevFest identity. Like that might be interesting. Make sure you are consistent. So, for example, in our case, we ended up with having those sort of like icons, and we reuse them on every other graphics that we were doing. For example, badges or like T-shirts, like this one. You don't have idea for logo, or you don't have a designer, run a contest. You probably have a big community behind that is like really, I mean, a lot of people will pay just to say like, oh, that's the logo that I did for the DevFest. So try to engage your community. And also, make sure you prepare a media kit. A media kit is like a Google Drive folder or a Dropbox folder where you put all of your asset there, and all the partners, all the folks that needs your graphic for like media partnership or whatsoever, they can find everything there. And with these, you will save a lot of back and forth, like sponsors. Can you give me the SVG of that logo with transparent background or whatsoever? Just put everything there and give it around to everyone. I left there the link to ours if you want to take that as inspiration. Then social. Obviously, you want to like engage more people, so you need to like, you know, advertise a little bit. Define a media plan. So a media plan is nothing more than a spreadsheet with like days and one column for every social network. So what I usually suggest is like have some sort of like an idea, like try to find someone in your community that can take care of that. I know it's really hard sometimes, but this will drive a lot of like engagement if you do it properly. I would say decide your network based on your target. So for example, the Android community is really active on Twitter. So if you want to engage Android speakers, you probably need to have like some sort of Twitter profile. Also, I mean, think about scheduling your content, Buffer, Hootsuite, whatsoever. I know it's hard to keep on like, you know, tweeting every day about your stuff. So you probably can like do everything one night, schedule the entire week of content. have photos. Photos are fundamental for your for like advertising your DevFest. So make sure you have like someone that is good enough with taking pictures for your event, so that the year after you can like reuse them to advertise. And that's what we did. So for example, our community was really active on Android. So we created a new Twitter profile, DevFest Pisa, for that DevFest, and that was tweeting in English, while our community Twitter account is tweeting in Italian. And that was like the way that we decided. I mean, that's up to you. I talked with other manager and told me, that was like a bad idea because now like you restarted from scratch with the followers. But actually we saw like speakers that interacted more with the English account. So that's more up to you. It worked pretty well for us. The location. So the location is like, I usually say that once you book the location, you're like 50% through the whole organization. It's sometimes can be really painful. I would suggest first find the right date. This is also tricky. If you're doing a paid event and you want companies to pay for like their employees to go to your conference, probably better to do it like next to a weekend. So either Thursday, Friday, or Monday, Tuesday. So they can like, be at the end of the week, and that should probably be fine. While if you do a free event like us, it's probably better to do it on the weekend. In our case, we did like a full day on Saturday, and people were like more than happy to come. Find the right place. So location, again, it's hard. If you don't know where to go, co-working spaces might be like a good starting point. Sometimes they're more than happy to like host like some sort of small conferences for free. Hotels are a great alternative. They can provide like accommodation and the location. So you'll just say like to speakers, hey, come by, the conference will be there, and your room is just like 2 floors ahead. Universities. In our case, a lot of students, we got in touch with the university and we got the venue. Also conference centers, like buildings that are like specifically for conferences. Those are great, but sometimes they're like the most expensive, so might be hard to book. That's up to you. What I suggest is also keep your audience in mind. For example, in our case, we knew that we had a lot of students, so university was our choice. Like we not even searched for like hotels or conference centers because university was like the way to go. Food. Good food translates into good networking, so you probably want to pay some sort of attention on that. I know it's hard to organize it. From my point of view, I'm Italian and I'm a coffee lover, so coffee should be there, like it's mandatory. And water as well. Full meal is a plus, like if you can also provide some sort of lunch is great, but it's not always necessary. So, for example, in our case, what we said is like, hey, we are providing some sort of refreshment, but if you want a full meal, there are a lot of pizzerias out there. Just grab a pizza and you will be fine. Ask for alternatives. This is a thing that in Italy, I found it to be really tricky. Like when you get in touch with some catering companies, ask for vegan, gluten-free, kosher, halal food. Sometimes they don't even know what is that about, so you need to like teach them exactly what they mean, but please take care of that because you want to be like an event that is inclusive, so don't forget that. And also, don't lose the opportunity to organize a networking party. It's really, it's not that hard to organize, especially if you don't have crazy much numbers of attendees. Just like go to some pubs in your city and book, I don't know, 100 free drinks and invite everyone to come there. It will be like a great opportunity for everyone to get in touch with each other. Sponsors. Okay, that's another tough point. I usually suggest define a set of levels, like bronze, silver, gold, platinum, but also be flexible. There might be sponsors out there that they want specific things from you. They are not the one that are defining the levels, so try to like accommodate them somehow. With sponsors, the sooner the better. Like there are sponsors that decide which conference to sponsor like 6 months before. You don't want to be late, so try to like be fast with that. Make sure that there is a single point of contact. That's a common mistake. Like I saw like community is passing like one sponsor between 3 or 4 different managers. that's not going to work. You know, that manager is responsible of that sponsor, and they should like, you know, handle all the communication. So make sure that's like fixed. Sponsors don't like to be forgotten. Like if you agree with them to put the logo on the website, the logo should be there. That's extremely important. You don't want to screw up on this. And also, a couple of tips. JetBrains, if you have Kotlin event, they usually sponsor a lot. They provide like licenses and stickers and swags. Reach out to them. That's really easy to onboard. And also Sticker Mule. I don't know if you know them. They do like great stickers, like our GDG Pisa stuff. And they're more than happy to like sponsor tech event. And they will, like, instead of providing money, they will provide stickers. That's, again, a great thing to have. And also, yeah, that's the link to our like partnership document that you can, again, use as inspiration. Helpers. So if you're not, I mean, if you're like 2 or 3 organizers, you probably need someone that will support you the day of the event. If you don't have people, just run a call for helpers. Go on the community, have like Google form and ask everyone, hey, are you free? Join us. What I suggest here is try to build an identity. Try to make your helpers be part of your event. What we did to achieve this is first, like create printed checklists, like I have a document that explains them, hey, you are important for this event and your roles are this, this, and that. For example, stage manager, you need to make sure that the speaker has water, you have the papers with the minutes and everything. Like be clear, simple, and make them feel important, and they should be easy to recognize. So for example, what we did is like we got different t-shirts. For example, for the helpers, it was orange, like this one. And just this simple thing, just having like a different color of the t-shirt made everyone feel so proud of, you know, being the orange t-shirt guy and knowing that they were like building the event with us. So there is a lot to engage there and try to like play really well with that to like build your event. Also, that's the link to our call for helpers, again, if you need some material. So now you built everything, but the real thing that you want to have at a certain point is the people. So you want to have like attendees, you want to have speakers. How do you actually engage them? So the first suggestion that I have is speakers. I mean, you need to have great speakers. That's the lineup of our latest DevFest 2019. So we got like nearly 40. It was hard to reach out to some of them. I have to say, like, we did a call for paper and we got like 110 answers. Okay, but also we personally reached out to some speakers and we asked them, hey, do you want to give a talk at our DevFest? We need some help. That worked really great. One thing that we are really proud of is how diverse our lineup was. We wanted to our DevFest to be a space where new people could actually speak about whatever they wanted. So we got some experienced speakers, some Googlers, some GDs, but also people that never spoke before, or people that spoke to a lot of conferences in Italian but never spoke in English. So we tried to, you know, have all the levels of experience in our lineup. So how do you actually engage speakers? Prepare a great call for paper, spend time on that, review that, ask someone else, ask some other GDG managers to review that for you. Again, ask all the information you need up front. That will save you a lot of time. Like if you want to have the images of the speaker to put it on the website, they need to be on the call for paper. You don't want to write an email to every speaker and say like, hey, can you please also send me your image because I forgot to ask you. Again, the sooner the better. In my case, I also give talks to like Android conferences, and I am now preparing my calendar for November. So I'm already thinking where to go, and also with Googlers, like if you want to have some Googlers at your event, you definitely need to call them upfront, months upfront. So just don't pretend to have like great speakers if you write them just 1 month before. Advertise your call for papers as much as you can. I have some suggestions here. They're specifically for Android, just because I'm an Android engineer. So there is the Android Study Group conference list. It's a GitHub repository where you can like commit a markdown file, and it will like appear on a page where all the conferences are listed. And Android engineers like me, we use that page to like see which conferences will happen in the future. That's really great, and it's a nice way to like engage a lot. The Android Weekly is an Android newsletter that you can like submit your conference, and they will publish your conference there. So, I mean, Android Weekly has like, I don't know, thousands of readers. So that's a great way. Slack groups, GDG Global, I hope you're all there. Android United, Kotlin Lang, those are public Slack groups where you can like just post the link of your conference there. And again, that's the link to our call for paper. Agenda. So how do you actually prepare your agenda? How do you, once you selected your speaker, how do you, first, how do you select your speaker, and how do you like create that, that nice agenda? So I used to say that a good agenda is like an NPR problem, because you will realize that you're trying to, you know, put, I don't know, 100 talks inside an agenda that has like 30 slots. So you don't really know which one to choose. I have some guidelines here. Try to balance between intermediate and beginner talks. That also depends on your audience. In our case, we wanted to have like 50-50, beginner, intermediate. Try to balance between English and not English talks. In our case, we had the principle that was like, for every time slot, there should be at least one English talk. So if someone, like some student that is not speaking Italian, it should be able to come, and it should be able to listen to at least one session. Try to don't overlap similar topics. Like, if you have 2 talks about RX Java, they should not probably be next to each other. And again, that's extremely important. Don't announce speakers before they confirm. So once you do the call for paper, you need to reach out to every speaker and say like, hey, you got accepted. Do you confirm that you're actually coming? And if they say yes, you can actually announce them. Just don't announce them without their explicit confirmation. Also, when you're doing the call for paper, think about anonymizing the call for paper, especially if you have a lot. And like a lot of, a lot of your DevFest and how inclusive and how diverse it will be will come from your lineup. So try to pay like a lot of attention on how you build and how you choose your speakers. Attendees. So if you use Eventbrite to organize events, any kind of events, re-invite previous attendees. That worked pretty well for us, because you can like go there and say like, hey, to all the other attendees of my previous 30 events, invite them to this one. And that worked, I mean, for us, awesome. If you have a free event, don't forget that you will probably have some sort of drop. In our case, we got a 30% drop on the number of tickets. So for example, at the end, so here it says for 70, we actually got 530 tickets, but we actually had like 400 something people that actually showed up. So you need to pay attention. Like, that's the drawback of having a free event, because people will like forget that they got a ticket, or they will just wake up, they were like, I don't know, they're lazy that day and they will not come. So think about that. Also, going sold out is cool. Like saying that, hey, our event is sold out, but not 3 months earlier. So make sure that you advertise your event accordingly to your capacity. Like if you have 500 people, you need to slowly reach 500 by the week before the event, not 3 months before, because that is going to screw up really bad. Make sure you follow up. With follow up, I mean like take pictures, send out albums, do a video recap, like prepare a little video on how the DevFest was and send it back to your attendees. And ask them feedback, like, hey, do you like the DevFest? How we can improve? Do you think we did something bad? Whatsoever. That's a way to re-engage with your people, and have even more attendees the year after. Think about a code of conduct. I mean, we could actually give a talk about that only, so I'm just gonna touch that super fast. But don't forget about that. It's extremely important if you want to build like an inclusive event. We add some printed copies to end out. Like, so we printed, I think, 20 copies, and we sticked around every room. And also, really important, leave a phone number or an email there so that people can actually reach out to you. And I suggest also, if you never wrote one, you, again, take inspiration from others. Codeofconduct.com, codeofconduct.com is a great resource to start. And just build it and shape it around your community. So you know, like, your audience, and try to shape it in a way that everyone can understand that. And also, delightful details. So think about the details. They play a lot of, at least from my point of view, they play a really important role. So try to be unique. Try to, like, give a signature to your DevFest and make it, like, special. Think about the little details. And when I say little details, I actually have an example. So try to put on some music. Like, music might sound stupid, but will actually engage a lot, and people will be way more excited than just, like, silence in the room. And that, music, you can just go on YouTube and you will find, like, a lot of copyright-free songs that you can actually download, and put them, like, during your lunch break or your coffee break or before the keynote. What we actually did, we created a placeholder video, and it's something like this. So we basically created these animations, and we got, just take one of those, put some music behind, and let them fade between them. And this thing for 30 minutes. So they look complicated, but actually this is just like JavaScript code. And if you look on CodePen, you will find them, basically. Just have them, put them on your projector, and having something like this can actually, like, help you cover, like, 10 minutes delay. So maybe you're late because of whatever reason, and you have these, and people will say, oh, look, that's crazy animation, that's funny. And you will, like, attendees will not think, oh, God, they are late. What's happening? They were supposed to start 10 minutes ago. So think about all these little details, because they will make your event really unique. So I want to follow up on the quote I said at the beginning. This is, like, something that another GDG organizer told me the day before our first DevFest. He told me, tomorrow evening you will be the happiest person on earth. And that's actually true. I was so crazy the day before our first DevFest because I said, like, oh, everything will go bad. I'm pretty sure people will not show up, and speakers will forget to come, and I don't know, projectors will not work. Everything was so smooth, and that evening I was so happy, and that just made my day. I was, I don't know, really the happiest person on earth. That's all I had. I actually wrote some blog posts about these. You will find them on how to organize your community conference on Medium. There are, like, 3 parts: the idea, the environment, and the people. They are there. How to community conf. And it's more like, that's basically the thing that I said today, a bit more detailed. And with these, that's all I had. I think I have, like, 1 minute for a question. You will find the slides on how to DevFest, and all the things were, like, links, so you can actually, like, go there and, see our call for paper or whatsoever if you need inspiration. And thanks for having me.